It's not a mantra, not a complicated ritual, and it doesn't take years of practice. It's an ancient gesture, simple and direct, yet as deep as the echoes of creation. It involves gently tapping your chest, right in the center, over the sternum, where a small gland lies mostly forgotten by modern science, but honored by traditional initiations. The thymus. Doing this 1,000 times isn't about mindless repetition. It's a practice of power. It's a physical vibration that reaches into the unseen. By tapping that spot with focus and rhythm, you start to awaken your highest energy, not like an uncontrolled burst, but like an underground river breaking through rock and flowing freely. Most people get stuck in their heads, distracted, scattered. Their vital energy is spread thin, locked in autopilot routines. But you're not here for that. You've come to this message because a part of you wants to reconnect with the body's language as a sacred tool. In this video, we'll explore something that might sound unbelievable, but is as real as your breath. How gently tapping your thymus 1,000 times with care and intention can activate your energy fields, unlock your nervous system, and reprogram your subconscious. This practice is linked to ancient mystical traditions that viewed the body as a temple and every movement as a form of alchemy. How this simple act can become a kind of physical prayer, a devotion that shifts your vibration without saying a word. But this isn't a medical video. We're not just talking about the thymus as a gland. We're talking about it as a gateway between worlds, like the soul's drum that answers when called. Each tap is a key, each repetition a chant. You don't have to believe it, you just have to do it, feel it, and keep going. So open your heart, let go of doubt, and let this simple motion become your gateway to an energy that's been inside you all along. 1,000 taps, one transformation. Welcome to the practice that turns the body into prayer and rhythm into power. Since the dawn of time, the wise people of the oldest cultures knew something modern science is only beginning to understand. The body isn't just flesh, it's symbol, antenna, and channel. It's not a passive container for the soul, but an active bridge between what's seen and unseen. Inside the body, there are spots that act like doors. One of these, probably the most overlooked today, is the center of the chest. In ancient Egypt, priests used ritual staffs to touch specific points on the body during ceremonies. One of those points was right in the middle of the chest, where later the thymus gland would be identified. The Egyptians didn't call it the thymus, of course, but they knew that by stimulating that area with rhythm and reverence, the soul would respond. The body would shift frequency, and something deep inside would open. In Vedic India, this spot is called Anahata, the fourth chakra, the center of love, truth, and vibration, untouched by conflict. It's the subtle sound. Interestingly, Anahata is also linked to air, rhythm, and a kind of energy that moves not by words, but by bodily resonance. When you stimulate that region, the compassionate soul wakes up, blocked emotions are cleared, and a bridge forms between higher mind and heart's will. In South American shamanic traditions, cleansing rituals included rhythmic slaps on certain body points, paired with chants. The chest center was key, not hit hard, but tapped with vibrational intention in time with the drum, as if tuning the body itself. Among Tibetan monks, practices like Tsalung and Trul Kor, energetic yoga systems, included precise chest movements and taps with accompanying mantras. These weren't just physical exercises, but sacred practices to open internal channels, break heavy patterns, and let vital energy flow freely. Across these cultures, we see the same theme: the body as a spiritual instrument, and within it, the energetic heart, the thymus, as a sacred drum that can be awakened, tuned, and used as an inner oracle. Modern science links the thymus to the immune system and notes it shrinks with age. But spiritual traditions add something deeper. When the soul dims, the thymus sleeps, When the soul ignites, the thymus wakes. One way to wake it is through gentle, conscious tapping. A call, a code, 1,000 times, like war drums announcing a new self, like ancient chants echoing inside your inner temple. This isn't just a movement, but an ancient gesture, a remembering of the lost language between body and spirit. In a world that worships the mind and dismisses the body, any physical act with spiritual intention might seem strange or even crazy. But anyone who's felt that inner vibration after a conscious movement knows there's ancient wisdom encoded in flesh, bone, and vibration. Tapping your chest softly 1,000 times with focus and rhythm isn't superstition, it's a powerful technique. A key that, when used right, can break mental patterns, open energetic flows, and rewrite the hidden language of your subconscious. Why? Let's start with the thymus gland, just behind the sternum. Biologically, it helps mature T cells, essential for the immune system. That's where science stops. But in spiritual terms, the thymus is much more. It's the sanctuary of vital energy, a gland that vibrates with our subtlest emotions. When we're sad, the thymus contracts. When hopeful, it expands. It's like a spiritual sensor, a thermometer of the soul. Most importantly, it responds to rhythmic touch, like a shaman's drum, not because it enjoys being tapped, but because rhythm wakes it up. The 1,000 taps isn't random. In many mystical traditions, 1,000 symbolizes the sacred repeated until fully absorbed. In alchemy, it means full transformation. In Buddhist meditation, mantras and visualizations are repeated thousands of times to break ego inertia and create new pathways of awareness. Tapping the chest 1,000 times is a kind of bodily alchemy, and that's where the second part comes in. The energetic field. The heart, both physically and energetically, is the area of strongest electromagnetic charge in the human body. Tapping the thymus in that same spot creates tiny vibrations that ripple through the autonomic nervous system, especially the vagus nerve, which connects directly to the heart, brain, and gut. In other words, it's a bridge between emotion, thought, and action. These vibrations trigger an internal reset. The brain starts to recognize the movement as a steady pattern, and finding no obvious external cause, it relaxes and opens up. The doors to the subconscious swing wide. You enter a threshold where logic steps back and symbolism takes the lead. This is where the tapping becomes reprogramming. Each tap is a silent affirmation, each repetition a vibrational command. Wake up, reconnect, remember, and something deeper happens. The body, which too often has been an instrument of repression or autopilot, now becomes the priest of its own temple. With every touch, skin, bone, and rhythm come together in a symphony, a prayer without words. This gesture doesn't need thinking, it needs presence. It's not the number that transforms you, but the devotion behind it. 1,000 taps done without care do nothing, but 1,000 taps done with respect, attention, and pure intention can break stuck life patterns, uncover buried trauma, and plant new energetic programming. Here, the hidden power of the physical shows itself. The body stops being a prison and becomes ritual, a ritual of strength, vibration, and release. And there's more. When practiced consistently, this movement creates effects beyond the body. But to understand that, we have to go deeper. At some point, repeating this gesture, tapping the chest gently and intentionally 1,000 times, starts to go beyond the physical. What seemed like a simple body movement turns into an act of power that can influence your energy field, your environment, and your deepest mental states. This is the threshold where movement becomes magic. Remember, the universe doesn't respond to words, but to vibration. It isn't moved by empty prayers, but by coherent frequency. And vibration isn't just sound. Repeated movement done with focused intention is embodied vibration. Each tap on your chest, when mindful, sends a subtle wave through your energetic system like a bell being struck. These waves don't stop at the skin. They travel along energy pathways, pass through your aura layers, and fine-tune your personal vibration to a new pattern. And here something extraordinary happens. Your energy field begins to shift. Those who've practiced this for days, weeks, or full lunar cycles report experiences like feeling their energy expand, changes in time perception, clearer emotions, more vivid dreams, and even synchronicities in daily life. Why? Because as ancient spiritual schools teach, these practices don't just work on the body but on the code behind the reality you experience. When you tap your chest with high intention, you're not just rewiring your nervous system or activating your thymus. You're breaking down personal morphic fields, those repetitive thought-emotion loops that trap you, clearing psychic baggage that psychology alone can't shift, but vibration can. You're updating your personal quantum field because your vibration sets your resonance, and your resonance attracts matching experiences. Practically, you'll notice certain people or situations no longer fit in your life. It's not them changing, it's that you're no longer on the same frequency. By activating the thymus, you awaken your spiritual radar, a compass that filters out what doesn't align with your deepest truth. And one of the biggest effects is internal coherence becoming irresistible. You can't lie to yourself anymore. You can't act out of obligation without feeling empty. Your body starts rejecting you when you betray your essence because your instrument has been finely tuned. The drum of your chest is synced to a higher rhythm. Many traditions say when the heart beats in tune with the heavens, the world answers back. This isn't poetry, it's energetic physics. The harmony between thymus, heart, intention, and mind creates a vibrational wave so pure it starts to order your surrounding reality. It's like changing the background music of your life. Everything out of sync with that new rhythm fades away. But be careful, this isn't an escape or a way to control the world. It's an act of reverence. You don't tap your chest to manipulate life. You do it to remember who you are beyond it. And by remembering, all that's false begins to dissolve, thousands of times a day, and little by little, the world you knew dies to make space for a new one. More aligned, more yours, more real. A world where the heart isn't just an organ, but a throne, and the thymus, its sacred drum. One of the most powerful lessons from this practice is simple and revolutionary. You don't need intellectual understanding to transform your energy. We're trapped in the idea that only what we understand with our minds really matters. But the soul, as ancient wisdom teaches, responds not to analysis but to vibrational presence. Tapping your chest 1,000 times a day might sound extreme, unnecessary, or even weird until you try it with intention. Until you notice some days you tap distractedly and feel nothing. But on others, after a couple hundred taps, something inside breaks open. An old feeling releases, a vision appears, a memory surfaces. Then you get it. This isn't exercise. It's a language, a code, an alchemy. Here are some key tips to make this practice part of your daily life and turn it into a tool for deep change. 1. Do it at the same time every day like a ritual. The body loves routine and the soul loves ceremony. Whether it's right after waking, before bed, or during a midday break, what matters isn't the exact time, but that this moment becomes sacred. 2. Do it with intention, not speed. Don't count mechanically. Don't rush to hit 1,000 like it's a workout challenge. This is devotion, not a contest. Feel each tap like an internal chime. You can add deep breaths, visualizations, or quiet pauses. The time you spend is a vibrational investment, not wasted. 3. Notice whatever comes up without judgment. Over time, this practice reveals deep layers of your being. Emotions, tensions, visions, or discomfort may arise. Don't reject them. Everything that surfaces was invited by the rhythm. It's part of the process. Remember, what the body lets go, the soul was ready to release. 4. Follow each session with silence. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Do nothing but listen. The tapping created a vibration and opened a field. Now the soul starts speaking, not in words but in feelings, pulses, and images. Learn to read your body's song after the drum. 5. Don't expect instant results. This is one of the biggest mistakes. Don't look for lights or mystical experiences right away. Sometimes the biggest shifts happen quietly, in a subtle change of thought or a decision you didn't dare make before. Energy transformation is like planting a seed, invisible at first, but inevitable in time. Remember, you're not just tapping your chest, you're awakening your temple. Each tap is a way of telling the universe, I'm ready to come back to myself. We're on a path that may seem physical but leads straight to the soul. What started as a simple gesture, a soft, steady tap over the chest, reveals itself as a spiritual technology hiding in plain sight. In a world overloaded with information, techniques, and quick-fix promises, this practice reminds us of something essential. The sacred isn't distant or complicated. It lives in the body, right here and now, in the ancient rhythm that connects us to the source of everything. You don't need any external initiation. You don't have to be an expert in chakras, neuroscience, or quantum energy. What you need is consistency, devotion, and inner listening. Tapping your chest 1,000 times a day isn't a trend or a rule. It's a way to remember that your body is a drum and you are the musician. The thymus, quiet as it seems, holds an original vibration. It's no accident that many cultures placed it symbolically in the spiritual heart, where compassion, divine will, and truth come together. When you activate it, you're not just exercising, you're calling forth awakening. This practice is also an act of rebellion, a quiet stand against forgetfulness. While the world pulls us outward, to screens, routines, and noise, you choose to turn inward and connect with an ancient, vibrant, elemental gesture. And there, in the space between each tap, you start to hear what's never said out loud. Your truth, your vibration, your strength. Remember, what doesn't vibrate falls asleep, and what doesn't move dies. That's why this sacred tap is more than movement. It's resurrection. Sure, there will be times when you feel tired, when you doubt, when your mind asks, why keep doing this? But that's exactly where the real energetic work begins, because just past that point, something gives way. Something trapped inside you begins to free itself, and you realize it wasn't just you tapping your chest, but your soul waking you up from within. So keep going, move with rhythm, make movement your mantra, tap not with force, but with reverence. Let each tap be a step toward your truth, and let that truth spread, clear, strong, unstoppable. Because when your highest energy wakes up, the world changes with you. Now I invite you to take the next step. Hit like if this practice touched something deep in you. Share this message with others on the path. Subscribe for more teachings that activate body, mind, and spirit. And comment, I tap my chest to awaken my soul. 1,000 taps, one path, one frequency, mine. If you've read this far, maybe you've already started to remember. The key was in your chest all along. It just needed rhythm. What if I told you that right now, as you're listening to these words, there's another version of you living the life you've always dreamed of? It's not science fiction or a fantasy. It's physics, it's consciousness, it's possibility. We tend to think that our reality is fixed, stable, and unchanging. But the truth is far deeper and more magical. Your reality, as you know it, is just a frequency. And like any frequency, it can change, shift, and transform. This video is an invitation to explore one of the most powerful ideas in modern spirituality and quantum physics, the quantum leap. It's a technique, a vision, an experience that allows you to break free from the limits of time, space, and identity. It's a practice that gives you direct access to parallel universes where you're already living the life you dream of. It's not about thinking positively or repeating empty affirmations. It's about deeply understanding that reality isn't changed by simply wanting it. It's changed by transforming who you are. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the true meaning of the quantum leap together. We'll uncover what makes it possible, where it comes from in ancient wisdom, how it works on the deepest level of your consciousness, and how to use it practically to create the life you want. We'll discuss the power of advanced visualization, connecting with your alternate self, the collapse of time, and how to activate the version of you that already lives in abundance, purpose, and peace. You don't need to create something new. You just need to align with the version of yourself that exists on a different frequency. Get ready for a journey that goes beyond thought, towards vibration, beyond the physical, into the quantum. This isn't content meant just to entertain you. It's a key to awakening. So let me ask you, are you ready to make the leap? Even though the term quantum leap may sound modern, influenced by particle physics, its essence is as old as time itself. Ancient cultures and the keepers of secret knowledge have always understood that reality isn't one-dimensional. It's full of possibilities. They knew that the universe is a living field of potential, and that humans at a certain level of consciousness can transcend their current state and access a new way of being. In ancient Egypt, the priests of Thoth taught that the universe was mental, vibrational, and shaped by the will and vision of the soul. Through initiation, disciples didn't just gain knowledge, they experienced an energetic shift, a transformation that moved them to a new spiritual identity. What we call today a quantum leap, they saw as the transmutation of the K, a subtle energy body connecting all timelines of being. Mystics of the East, especially in Hinduism and Tantric Buddhism, spoke of siddhis, spiritual powers that activate when one unites deeply with their higher self. One of these siddhis was bilocation, the ability to consciously exist in multiple states at once. Isn't that a quantum leap in itself? In the Corpus Hermeticum, ancient texts attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, it said, "You are the creator of your own universe. What you think and feel is what manifests." This statement perfectly captures the essence of the quantum world. Consciousness causes the collapse of possibilities. The initiates knew that to change their world, they first needed to change themselves. Ancient Gnostic texts also spoke of awakening in the dream of the world and remembering the other versions of ourselves that exist beyond matter. These texts, hidden for centuries, reveal a surprisingly modern understanding of parallel realities, overlapping dimensions, and a soul that can choose its experiences through recognizing its divine origin. Even now, quantum physics confirms what the ancients knew. Matter isn't solid, reality isn't fixed, and the observer affects what is observed. The principle of quantum superposition says that an electron can exist in multiple states at once until it's observed. The quantum field is like an infinite soup of possibilities, waiting to collapse into a defined form. What determines this? Your frequency, your internal state, your consciousness. So, a quantum leap isn't an event that happens outside of you. It's a deep vibrational shift. It's about changing your frequency to align with another version of reality where you're already the person you want to become. You don't need to change the world around you. You just need to tune into a different frequency. That's why when people say they can't change their life, or that they're stuck by fate, they're forgetting an ancient truth. You're not stuck in your reality. Your reality is stuck in you. And this is where the magic of the quantum world happens. By changing your vibration through thought, emotion, intention, and action, you can unlock another timeline, another universe, and consciously step into it. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how a quantum leap works. We'll break down step by step how it's about resonance, not effort. A quantum leap isn't a physical act, a stroke of luck, or a gradual change. It's a break in the energy flow of your being. It's the moment you stop holding on to your old self and fully embrace a new vibrational identity. Imagine you're a radio station. The reality you experience is the frequency you're broadcasting. If you want to hear a different kind of music, you don't need a new radio, you just need to adjust the dial. That's how the quantum leap works. It doesn't change what's outside, it changes who's tuning in. So how does this shift happen? Every quantum leap begins with a crisis or revelation, a moment when something inside you can no longer hold the old story. It could be a major turning point, a sudden awakening, or a decision that comes from deep within your soul. This moment creates instability, and your old self begins to fall apart. The fears, habits, beliefs, and limitations of your former identity no longer fit. You feel you must let go, but you're not sure what you'll be after. This is the fertile ground for the quantum leap, the creative void where everything is possible. In this stage, it's important to understand that the goal is not to do more, but to be different. This is where many people get stuck. They try to create a new reality with the same old mindset. But the change doesn't happen through logic. It comes from a shift in energy. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. To make a quantum leap, you need to decide to let go of the version of yourself that can't have what you desire and start thinking, feeling, and acting as if you already have it. One of the biggest insights in this process is realizing that the version of you who already lives the life you dream of exists right now. In the quantum field, all possibilities are available. There's a version of you that is already free, successful, whole, healthy, and abundant. You don't need to create this version, you just need to align with it. How? Ask yourself, how does this version of you think? What does it feel like to wake up? How does it move through the world? How does it express itself? What does it say yes to, and what does it say no to? When you start to live in alignment with these answers, you create a vibration that connects you to that future reality. The more you hold that vibration, the quicker that reality begins to show up in your life. One of the biggest misconceptions about the quantum leap is thinking it's a gradual process. It's not. It's not about making progress step by step, but about shifting your consciousness in a single leap. It's a leap of faith, a decision to let go, and an act of living that truth all at once. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. You don't have to fight the darkness. You simply let the light shine. Similarly, when you choose to vibrate as your expanded self, the old version of you fades away and a new reality begins to emerge. In the first part of this explanation, we've learned that the quantum leap happens when you shift who you are, not just your surroundings. It happens when you embrace your creative power and step into a new frequency that goes beyond logic, the past, or your circumstances. Next, we'll look at the hidden challenges, common mistakes, and overlooked elements that stop many people from maintaining their leap, and how to make it permanent. While a quantum leap may feel like a quick, sudden shift, almost like a flash of consciousness, it's really just the beginning. The real challenge is sustaining that leap, living in it, and fully embodying it. This is where many people stumble, not because they lack power, but because they lack understanding. The truth is, the quantum leap doesn't end with the leap itself. What follows is a subtle, deep, and often tough process where the old version of you will try to pull you back. Your body, mind, and energy field are filled with memories. Even after you decide to make the leap, certain emotions, thoughts, or old patterns might resurface. not as punishment but as a test. Your system, by habit, will want to return to the comfort zone, to what's familiar, because that's how it's been programmed. The ego resists the leap, not because it wants to stop you, but because it's designed to protect you in a predictable environment. A quantum leap breaks that predictability. This is where you need to be strong. Every time doubt, fear, or old behaviors pop up, don't just push them away. Acknowledge them as part of your old self and choose to act differently. A common mistake people make during a quantum leap is expecting to see results before maintaining the new vibration. The universe doesn't respond to what you see. It responds to what you hold on to, even when it's not visible. A quantum leap requires faith, not blind faith, but an internal certainty that comes from connecting with your expanded self. The mistake is thinking, "I'll feel abundant when the money shows up," or "I'll trust when I see results." But that kind of thinking doesn't apply here. The quantum leap works in a non-linear way. First, you embody it, then it happens. Holding that vibration is the test. Those who succeed do so not because they're waiting for a reward, but because they've already become the version of themselves who doesn't need external proof to know who they are. After the leap, you may notice signs of conflict in your environment, people who no longer resonate with you, situations that fall apart, paths that close. This doesn't mean you've failed. It means your new frequency is starting to break down the old structures. Anything that no longer matches your energy will begin to surface. It's a process of vibrational cleansing. Yes, it can be painful and confusing, but it's necessary because you can't live in a new timeline while carrying the baggage of the old one. Many people do powerful visualizations, say affirmations, and feel deeply, but when they open their eyes, they act like their old selves. This is one of the most subtle mistakes people make. A quantum leap isn't just a moment of inspiration. It's a decision to embody the new version of yourself. Every word, choice, thought, and habit must align with your new self. This requires presence, not effort, but true presence. When you speak like your new self, make decisions like your new self, eat like your new self, love like your new self, your vibration becomes grounded, and when that happens, your reality has no choice but to reflect that change. After your leap, there may be a gap, a period when it feels like nothing is changing. This is when the old paradigm will try to make you doubt yourself. But during this time, something important is happening. It's the process of energetic realignment. It's like planting a seed. You won't see the flower right away. The leap has already happened. It's just taking time to fully manifest. Don't rush it. Trust the process. The quantum leap is a vibrational choice, but integrating it into your life is a daily spiritual practice. It takes courage, consistency, and above all, love for the new version of yourself. Because when you truly love who you are now, you stop romanticizing who you once were. And in that quiet, consistent love, the universe shifts and the magic unfolds. In the next section, we'll dive into how to practically apply this leap to your daily life, your routines, relationships, decisions, and actions. A quantum leap isn't about escaping life. It's the highest way to live it. Now that you understand what a quantum leap is, how it works, and the challenges it brings, it's time to apply this knowledge to your everyday life. The real leap doesn't happen in some distant, mystical place. It happens in the small, unseen moments when you make different choices, act as your higher self, and maintain your new frequency, even when the world hasn't yet reflected it. Here's how you can start using the quantum leap in key areas of your life with clarity and awareness. First, create a vibrational routine, not just a practical one. Many people live by reacting to the world. They wake up, check their phones, rush to work, repeat their habits, and vibrate at the same frequency as yesterday. your new reality won't manifest in an energy field filled with the same old patterns. Create a quantum morning routine. Spend 10 minutes in visualization. Imagine your day from the perspective of the person you want to be. Say aloud, "I am already the person I choose to be." Feel the emotions of success before you even leave your house. Do this every morning. Your morning sets the tone for your energy field. Second, act from the self that has already achieved what you want. Ask yourself constantly, what would my quantum self do in this situation? If you want abundance, don't act from scarcity. If you desire love, don't speak or accept anything from a place of lack. If you want freedom, don't make decisions out of fear. Every action you take should be a confirmation of your new vibration. It's not about pretending. It's about living as though you already are that expanded version of yourself. Third, use your words as an anchoring tool. Your words are powerful. Every time you say, "I can't," "It's too hard," or "Let's see what happens," you're feeding your old self. Speak as though you've already manifested your desires. Say, "I am expanding. Everything flows effortlessly toward me. I already am, and I recognize it." Repeat these statements, not to convince yourself, but to remind yourself of your true potential. Fourth, surround yourself with supportive energy. Your vibrational field is influenced by what you consume, what you watch, what you listen to, and the people you're around. Your environment either mirrors your new frequency or keeps you stuck in the old one. Begin by healing your external reality. Clean up your social media feed. Listen to music that lifts your energy. Speak with people who inspire you, not those who drag you down. If you can't change your environment right away, create an internal sanctuary. Sometimes all it takes is a special space, a candle, a notebook, and your intention to shift your energy. Fifth, celebrate before you see the results. One of the most powerful practices is to celebrate in advance. Why wait for the result to be grateful? Celebrate as if it's already happened. Toast, dance, be thankful. The universe responds to the state you're already in, not the outcome you're waiting for. Make celebration a ritual to anchor the leap, reminding yourself that your new reality is already on its way. Keep a notebook where you only write from the perspective of your manifested self. Don't write about problems or complaints. Only decisions, thoughts, and visions from the person you've already become. This practice helps reprogram your mind and solidifies the frequency of your quantum leap in your life. In short, applying a quantum leap to your daily life doesn't require you to change the world around you. It only requires you to change who you are within it. Because when you change, everything else changes with you. In the next section, we'll wrap up this journey with a final reflection and invite you to become not just a spectator of your reality, but its conscious creator. Now you understand that a quantum leap isn't just some esoteric fantasy or spiritual trend. It's a deep truth, a natural ability within everyone who dares to remember their own power. It's not about changing what you see, it's about changing the perspective from which you see it. Your reality is not separate from you. It's a direct projection of your inner state. Every thought, every emotion, every decision opens or closes invisible doors to different versions of your future. You are not the effect of your past. You are the vibrational cause of your present and the architect of your infinite future. You've learned that there's already a version of you living the life you desire. You've seen that true transformation happens when you choose to embody that frequency, even if the outside world hasn't caught up yet. And you've realized that the real challenge isn't making the leap. It's maintaining it with consistency, self-love, and inner faith. This is the mastery of the new human. Become a conscious creator of your destiny, not a victim of circumstance. Stand firm in the energy of the person who's already crossed the threshold. And if you ever doubt yourself, if the world doesn't reflect your new energy yet, or if your old identity tries to make a comeback, just breathe. Remember that the quantum field doesn't respond to your fear or impatience. It responds to the certainty of the frequency you hold. The universe doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to the decisions you make. So this is your moment. Don't wait for another day, another year, or for everything to fall into place. Take the leap today. Feel like it's already done. Act as though you're already the expanded version of yourself, and the universe will respond. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to keep exploring the hidden laws of being and the cosmos. Like this video to share this information with others who are ready to awaken, and share it with those who are on the verge of their own leap. Remember, you're not waiting for your new reality to come to you. It's waiting for you to step up and become the person who can receive it. Your time is now. Your leap is today, and you're already ready. Imagine for a moment that insomnia isn't just a physical annoyance, but a spiritual signal, a quiet call from your body to pause your outer world and tune into your inner one. Now ask yourself, what if there was a sacred spot in your body that, when touched, could calm your mind, soothe your soul, and open the door to deep rest, just like the wise sages of old? It might sound unbelievable, but it's not, because in ancient mystical traditions, the human body wasn't seen as just a biological machine, but as a living temple full of hidden doors and energy pathways. And within that temple, one of the best-kept secrets lies along a mysterious path: the vagus nerve. The ancient sages, mystics, healers, and spiritual alchemists knew the body held keys to the soul, and they understood there are places where energy and consciousness meet, where a simple touch could awaken memories, release emotions, or restore balance between the seen and unseen. According to their teachings, one of these spots was gently stimulated every night, just before sleep. They didn't do this out of habit, but out of deep connection, knowing that sleep isn't just rest. It's a gateway, a shift between worlds, a break in time where the soul can receive messages, heal, or transform. But to cross that threshold, the body must be peaceful and the soul ready. Today, modern science is starting to catch up. Recent studies show that the vagus nerve, a quiet thread running from the brain down to the abdomen, is crucial for regulating the autonomic nervous system, emotional healing, and balancing body and mind. Still, the sages didn't wait for science. Night after night, they pressed precise points on the neck, chest, or behind the ears, activating that invisible line connecting their body to the universe. In this video, I'll share this ancient secret with you. What is the vagus nerve, really, from a spiritual and energetic perspective? Why stimulate it before sleep? It can change how you experience the night and how you feel every day. And how to use this knowledge not as a trendy hack, but as a sacred ritual to reconnect with yourself. This isn't just another health or meditation tip. It's a key to your awareness, so that every night, instead of battling insomnia, you engage with mystery. Because before insomnia, the sages touched this point, not to fall asleep, but to awaken within. To understand why the ancient sages touched this point before sleep, we have to completely rethink how we see the body. Today, we treat it like a machine. Muscles, bones, electric signals. But for the ancient wisdom traditions, from Egypt to Vedic India, from Taoist medicine to Hermetic alchemy, the body was a sacred map, a mirror of the cosmos, a finely tuned instrument where the physical and spiritual were one. In that view, the vagus nerve wasn't just anatomy. It was an inner river, a current carrying not only neural signals, but also vibrations, emotions, and deep memories. The body's alchemists saw it as a silent serpent flowing up and down the core of being, linking the brain, the seat of thought, with the belly, the seat of intuition. Vedic texts, for example, describe an energy channel called Sushumna Nadi, running from the spine's base to the crown of the head. While not exactly the vagus nerve physically, its symbolic role is strikingly similar, a channel of rise and fall, uniting the earthly and the divine. In some pre-sleep rituals, ancient yogis focused on stimulating the throat or chest with breath and gentle touch. Knowing this balanced their life energy and readied the soul for journeys beyond the body during rest. Meanwhile, Chinese medicine declared long ago that the heart and small intestine, linked by the vagus nerve, govern emotional and spiritual awareness. So certain acupuncture points on the ear, neck, and belly were used before sleep, not just to calm the nervous system, but to open the way to lucid sleep or deeper rest. Gnostic texts even talk about watching the threshold before sleep. This wasn't a metaphor, it was literal. The sage who touched this spot before sleep did so not just to relax, but to activate, a way to open access to finer planes where the soul, freed from the heavy body, could learn, heal, and reconnect with eternity. Over time, this knowledge faded. Modern thinking split mind from body, soul from nervous system. Insomnia became a disorder, not a message. But ancient wisdom hasn't died. It's just resting, waiting for us to remember. Now that you know this, you can touch that point again. Not as a technique, but as a legacy, like lighting a torch, passed down through time. To unlock the true power of this ancient knowledge, we need to explore the mystery of the vagus nerve, not just biologically, but through its symbolism. This nerve, whose name means wandering in Latin, is the longest cranial nerve in the body. It travels a grand route from brain to abdomen, touching the heart, lungs, diaphragm, and digestive system. It's like a sacred path, an invisible channel linking the body's life centers and, according to the sages, the soul's levels. From a spiritual perspective, the vagus nerve is much more than a signal conductor. It's a spirit antenna, a vibration axis that reflects our inner state with a precision modern science is only beginning to understand. When you're calm, breathing deep, mind clear, and body relaxed, the vagus nerve is active, turning on the parasympathetic system, the rest, digest, heal mode. But when you're scared, anxious, or stressed, this nerve tightens and your body goes into defense, fight, or flight. Do you see the power behind this? Now imagine that every night, by simply touching a specific spot on your body, behind the ear, at the base of the neck, or in the center of the chest, you could send a direct signal to this sacred channel, not just to calm your nervous system, but to tell your soul, you can come home. That's the real purpose of the gesture the sages made before going to sleep. It wasn't just a routine massage, but a reconnection with the divine axis of their own temple. And here's where the magic of conscious repetition comes in. The sages knew the body responds not only to touch, but also to intention. By gently repeating this act each night as a ritual of devotion, you build an energetic bridge. You teach your body to recognize that touch as a key, as a code. Over time, even the slightest pressure on that spot, applied with respect and mindfulness, can trigger a deep response. Immediate relaxation, emotional release, vibrational cleansing. This isn't placebo, it's energy programming. Science today confirms that stimulating the vagus nerve can improve sleep quality, reduce inflammation, balance emotions, and even boost brain plasticity. But the sages didn't need scientific proof, because what they did wasn't just biochemical, it was spiritual. They saw the body as a lyre with the vagus nerve as one of its main strings. When plucked with the right vibration, it produces a note that resonates through the entire system, physical, mental, and energetic. By touching it just before sleep, you tune your soul for the nighttime journey. You tell the universe, I'm ready to enter the sacredness of rest. And it's important to stress, this isn't just any touch, it's a touch full of awareness, slow, gentle, like caressing a forgotten memory or brushing against a secret door, knowing that beyond it waits more than just sleep. Beyond it lies the deep silence where the divine whispers. So next time insomnia visits, don't run from it or distract yourself. Stop, breathe, and touch that point, because what the sages knew, you can remember too. Now that we understand how the vagus nerve acts as a subtle channel between the physical body and higher states of being, it's time to dive even deeper into this simple act. Touching a point before sleep. Though it may seem small, when done with intention and devotion, it becomes an act of spiritual magic. For the ancient sages, sleep was even more important than being awake because it opened doors to visions, revelations, and healing that no daytime activity could bring. Here's a little-known idea: sleep as initiation. In many spiritual traditions, falling asleep wasn't seen as disconnecting, but as journeying into subtle realms. The body rests, yes, but the soul sets off on a voyage. And like any journey, it requires preparation. The act of touching the vagus nerve in places like the outer ear, inner ear, or base of the neck was a symbolic permission for the soul, a vibrational code saying, the body is safe. You may go further. Now think about the emotions that block sleep. Anxiety, guilt, overthinking, frustration. Each has a physical effect. Tight muscles, clenched jaws, racing heart that signals a hyperactive sympathetic nervous system, a mind still fighting. And in that state, how can the soul rise? That's where the ritual of conscious touch holds its full power. It not only activates the vagus nerve and relaxes the nervous system, but also has an alchemical effect on the subconscious. It becomes energetic reprogramming, a tactile symbol training the body to shift from struggle to rest. Over time, this becomes a somatic key. The moment you do it, your body remembers it's time to let go, and it does. But not all spots respond the same. Each area where the vagus nerve runs has its own subtle effect. Behind the ear, at the mastoid bone, it activates deep rest and is touched gently with 2 fingers, like stroking a sleeping child's ear. The hollow above the collarbone influences breathing and connects directly to the lungs, rhythm, and inner voice. The center of the chest over the thymus gland awakens tenderness, compassion, and spiritual protection. It's no accident sages place their hand there when praying or entering silence. Each of these points, when touched with intention, becomes a password between body and soul. Repeating this gesture nightly does more than calm the mind. It teaches it that rest is sacred. Sleep isn't surrender, it's preparation to receive messages from higher realms. And this ritual isn't new. Many indigenous cultures used crystals, oils, herbs, or symbols on these points before sleep. not out of superstition, but because of deep, energetic wisdom. The body is an instrument, and the vagus nerve is its deepest string. When touched with reverence, you enter communion. So it's not about chasing insomnia cures, it's about changing how you relate to rest, remembering that each night is a small death and rebirth, and you get to choose how you cross that threshold, with fear or power, tension or sacred contact, because the sages understood this. Sleep doesn't begin at your eyes, but in your soul. Today we sleep because we have to, not because we honor it. The night has lost its mystery, and rest is just a biological need. But in ancient wisdom, sleep was an initiation, a sacred meeting between soul and cosmos. Reclaiming this view doesn't mean giving up modern life, but weaving deep practices into your daily routine. Here are 5 guidelines that won't just improve your rest, they'll transform your whole life. These aren't quick fixes, they're keys to unlock inner dimensions. 1. Create an altar of rest. Whether you have a big bedroom or just a small corner, set aside a space dedicated to the sacredness of sleep. It's not just a bed, it's your vessel to the inner world. You might place a candle, a stone, or an image that represents protection or guidance. What really matters is your intention, sanctifying the space so your body and soul recognize it as the gateway to deep silence. 2. Practice the nightly ritual touch without exception. As we've seen, touching the vagus nerve isn't a massage. It's an act of power. Every night, with full attention, gently use 2 fingers and breathe deeply as you do it. Don't overthink it. Don't expect instant results. Just perform it like an initiate would, knowing each night you're tuning your inner instrument for journeys to subtler realms. 3. Turn off the outside world. Before sleep, the ancient sages said, "A mind that sleeps polluted wakes weak." Avoid news, social media, or violent content in the last hour before bed. The energy from those images sticks with you and travels with you beyond sleep. Instead, choose soft sounds, healing words, or silence itself. Remember, sleep isn't a break from the world, it's an entry into another. 4a. Express gratitude before closing your eyes. This simple gesture changes everything. Gratitude rewires the heart, clears the mind, and prepares the soul to receive. No matter how chaotic or tough your day was, find something, anything, to be grateful for. Gratitude is the soul's universal language. When you sleep in gratitude, the universe answers you in dreams. 5. Write down your dreams when you wake up. Night doesn't end with sleep. It ends with waking. Keep a notebook by your bed and jot down whatever you remember. Symbols, feelings, images. Over time, you'll notice patterns, messages, and personal keys. Your dreams are your soul's echo speaking in symbols. Listen closely. Turning sleep into a ritual isn't superstition. It's remembering what modern life has forgotten. It's recognizing that each night offers healing, reception, and a chance to remember who you are beyond your name, body, or story. Rest isn't disconnection, it's communion. Every night is a door waiting for you to cross consciously. Now you know what once seemed like just a biological detail. The vagus nerve is actually one of the master keys of the human temple. More than that, the simple act of touching a point on your body before sleep can become a deep act of spiritual reconnection. It's the difference between collapsing into sleep and consciously entering it. For centuries, the sages understood this. The body isn't a prison, but a compass. Every nerve, muscle, and pulse is part of a language revealing what the mind has forgotten. And the vagus nerve, that quiet channel winding between brain, heart, and organs, is a golden path to balance. Sleeping poorly isn't just a physical issue. It's a spiritual signal, an alert that something inside you isn't at peace. And we can't rest when we're disconnected from what matters most. Body, emotion, purpose, soul. That's why this message is urgent. Not so you can sleep more, but so you can sleep better. Not to repeat an empty technique, but to remember an ancient rite. Because if every night you place your hand on that spot, neck, ear, chest, with full awareness, you send a signal to the universe. I'm ready to enter sleep as if entering a temple. Within that simple gesture lies a whole philosophy. The body is sacred. Rest is an art. The soul never sleeps but flies. And you're not a victim of insomnia, but an initiate awakening to your inner power. And if you transform your night, you transform your day. Because those who sleep in harmony wake with purpose. Those who honor their body as a sanctuary live from the divine. Those who learn to touch that point don't sleep to escape, but to return. So tonight, when the world goes quiet and darkness surrounds you, don't turn on a screen. Ignite your awareness. Gently place your fingers on that point that vibrates like a forgotten note. Breathe slowly and step into the silence as if crossing the threshold of an invisible temple. Maybe you'll dream, maybe you won't remember, but your soul will know it's come home. If this wisdom sparked something inside you, subscribe to the channel for more sacred knowledge. Like this video if you now understand the hidden power within your body. Share it with someone who truly needs rest and leave a comment below. I honor rest as a sacred act because it's not just about sleeping anymore, it's about awakening while you rest.